In the dark underbelly of Mexico's criminal underworld, one name stands out among the most notorious drug lords: Victor Manuel Vazquez Mireles. Known by his alias El Meme Loco, this high-ranking member of the Gulf Cartel has a life story that reads like a gripping thriller. From his early days as a trusted enforcer to his audacious escape from custody and his alleged reign of terror even behind bars, the tale of El Meme Loco is nothing short of mind-boggling. Early career. Victor Manuel Vazquez Mireles, born in 1967, began his criminal career as a trusted enforcer for the Gulf Cartel during the 1990s. During the late 1990s, a significant meeting took place between Vazquez Mireles, Osiel Cardenas Guillen, and notorious henchman Arturo Guzman de Sena. Their agenda? Plotting the murder of Angel Salvador Gomez Herrera, a high-ranking leader within the Gulf Cartel known as El Chava. While both Gomez Herrera and Cardenas Guillen held prominent positions in the cartel, it was clear that Cardenas Guillen sought El Chava's demise. The fatal encounter occurred in Matamoros, where Gomez Herrera was invited under false pretenses, only to meet his untimely end. Following this assassination, Vazquez Mireles was assigned the grim task of eliminating other gangsters loyal to Gomez Herrera in Matamoros and discreetly informing the police of the corpse's location. With Gomez Herrera out of the picture, Cardenas Guillen ascended to the pinnacle of the Gulf Cartel's leadership, while Meme Loco continued to serve as one of his trusted bodyguards. Rise to power. Under the guidance of former kingpin Osiel Cardenas Guillen, El Meme Loco quickly rose through the ranks, eventually becoming the man in charge of operations in Tamaulipas and Veracruz. His responsibilities included supervising the purchase of drugs intended for smuggling into the United States and arranging the assistance of corrupt law enforcement officials to facilitate the cartel's operations. Federal authorities held Vazquez Mireles in high regard within the Gulf Cartel, considering him the third in command. Their suspicions pointed towards his involvement in coordinating the purchase of narcotics destined for smuggling into the U.S. via the Matamoros corridor. Moreover, they believed he played a crucial role in managing the cartel's illicit arrangements with corrupt officials, which facilitated their operations in Matamoros. Under the leadership of Cardenas Guillen, Vazquez Mireles, alongside Jorge Eduardo Costilla Sanchez, alias El Cos, spearheaded two powerful Gulf Cartel factions known as Sierras and Tangos. These groups provided armed protection to El Meme Loco and executed a myriad of criminal activities on behalf of the cartel, adopting aliases and codes to shroud their identities in secrecy. Throughout his criminal career, Vazquez Mireles operated under various aliases, such as El Meme, El Loco, Meme Loco, El Negro, and Cabezon. A real-life action movie. During the early days of 1999, El Meme Loco found himself in the clutches of the law when the Federal Highway Police, aka the PFC, apprehended him. At a park, 2,000 pounds of marijuana was found in Rio Bravo, Tamaulipas. The illicit cargo was destined for the United States, meant to fuel the cartel's distribution operations across the border. However, conflicting testimonies from the arresting officers and alleged death threats from the Gulf Cartel cast doubt on the case, leading to the PFC's removal from Reynosa. Subsequently, Vazquez Mireles was incarcerated at the low-security Penal de Reynosa. But his fate took a dramatic turn on January 29, 1999, while being transferred from prison to court in Reynosa. The Gulf Cartel's gunmen, numbering around 15, audaciously intercepted the vehicle transporting him, brandishing their weapons to intimidate the three policemen. At the assailants' command, the vehicle came to a halt, and they swiftly whisked Vazquez Mireles away in a separate vehicle, escaping the scene within minutes. The entire operation unfolded within the proximity of a 1,300 to 2,300 foot from the prison walls, a daring move that shook the authorities to their core. This brazen escape sparked intense scrutiny of the prison security measures, with the prison director, 3 policemen, and even the judge presiding over Vazquez Mireles' case facing blame for the security lapse. Tamaulipas State Police interrogated the drug lord's lawyer, suspecting him of collusion due to his knowledge of the court appearance schedule. Shockingly, the 3 officers who had been held at gunpoint during the escape became suspects in the investigation. Reacting swiftly to the situation, a district court in Reynosa promptly issued an arrest warrant against Vazquez Mireles on February 1, 1999, triggering a relentless manhunt for the elusive cartel member. The Manhunt. One significant event that intensified law enforcement efforts against Vazquez Mireles and other Gulf cartel leaders occurred on November 9, 1999. During a tense standoff in Matamoros, Vazquez Mireles, together with his associates, including Cardenas Guillen, menacingly confronted 2 U.S. agents who had ventured to gather intelligence on the cartel's operations. Despite threats to their lives, the agents and their informants eventually returned to the U.S. unharmed. Following this incident, Mexican security forces doubled their efforts to apprehend the notorious drug lord. El Meme Loco's involvement in a high-profile kidnapping added further notoriety to his criminal record. On May 13, 2002, the Gulf Cartel orchestrated the abduction of Dionisio Roland Garcia Sanchez, alias El Chacho, by a commando comprising around 20 Zetas members. This operation, spearheaded by Meme Loco, was executed with the aid of a tip-off from Police Chief Arturo Pedrosa Aguirre. Tragically, Garcia Sanchez suffered a gruesome fate at the hands of his captors, accentuating the ruthlessness of the cartel's operations. As authorities persisted in their pursuit, Meme Loco's alleged involvement in the disappearance of 4 anti-drug investigators near Miguel Alemán added to the growing list of suspicions against him. The Gulf Cartel's regional leadership in Miguel Alemán and his subsequent relocation to Veracruz underscored his influence and reach within the criminal organization. The tide turns. The tides turned in March 2003 when Mexican security forces scored a major victory by arresting Cardenas Guillen in Matamoros. With Cardenas Guillen in custody, El Meme was perceived as a potential successor alongside Costilla Sanchez and Gregorio Sauceda Gamboa. However, before he could assume power, his reign came to an end with his subsequent arrest. Arrest and escape. Following his arrest in March 2003, El Meme Loco was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison, but his conviction was later overturned. Escaping from custody with the help of gunmen from the Gulf Cartel, he remained a fugitive for nearly a decade. Throughout this time, he continued to lead the cartel's criminal activities, evading capture and becoming one of the most wanted drug lords in the U.S. for drug trafficking and assault. Indictments and sanctions. Vazquez Mireles faced a plethora of indictments both in Mexico and the U.S., making him a target for authorities on both sides of the border. In 2010, the Office of Foreign Assets Control, also known as the OFAC, escalated matters by sanctioning Vazquez Mireles and other high-ranking members of the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas. This move, sanctioned under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act, aimed to curtail their drug trafficking operations and financial resources. Despite being imprisoned in Mexico at the time, Vazquez Mireles was still considered a fugitive from U.S. drug-related charges. His U.S. assets were frozen, and engaging in any business with him was strictly prohibited. The OFAC's public release divulged various addresses associated with Vazquez Mireles in Nuevo León and Tamaulipas as authorities continued their relentless pursuit to bring him to justice. Rearrest and imprisonment. Authorities' unrelenting efforts finally led to Meme Loco's rearrest in 2003. He was transferred to a maximum security prison, but even behind bars his influence seemed undiminished. Reports of corrupt prison guards smuggling cell phones to him and his fellow cartel members further cemented his reputation as a powerful and dangerous figure. The legal battle raged on, with numerous charges brought against El Meme Loco. However, legal maneuvers, including a complaint citing a violation of his human rights, led to reduced sentences and subsequent annulments. Finally, in 2019, he received an 8-year sentence for organized crime involvement, but in March 2020, he was reportedly released from prison, allegedly continuing his criminal activities. The life story of El Meme Loco is one of audacity, danger, and intrigue. From his early days as a bodyguard to the heights of power within the Gulf Cartel and his ability to evade capture, Meme Loco's life is a testament to the enduring allure and complexity of Mexico's drug trade. Despite law enforcement's best efforts, the elusive drug lord remains a wanted fugitive in the U.S., leaving a legacy of violence and corruption in his wake. Join us next time as we explore other tales of other infamous figures who have shaped the world's criminal landscape. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling stories from history's darkest corners.